Picture this. You sail across an ocean to find your family. You left them on a small island 3 years ago. Your wife, your daughter, your infant granddaughter, and 113 other men, women, and children. You walk into the settlement expecting to hear voices, smell cooking fires, see children running between the houses. Instead, you find nothing. No bodies, no blood, no signs of a struggle. Just empty houses and one strange word carved into a wooden post. This actually happened in 1590 on the coast of what is now North Carolina. And 435 years later, nobody has ever fully solved it. In April 1587, an expedition of approximately 117 English men, women, and children set sail for the New World, funded by Sir Walter Raleigh under a charter from Queen Elizabeth I. Their goal was ambitious: to establish the first permanent English colony in North America on Roanoke Island off the coast of what is now North Carolina. This was not England's first attempt at the location. 2 years earlier, in 1585, an all-male military garrison had been left on the same island. When this new group of settlers arrived in July 1587, they found that earlier garrison gone, with only a single human skeleton left behind as evidence of what might have happened to them. It was not a reassuring sign. The new colonists pressed forward anyway. Their governor was a man named John White, an artist and experienced colonial administrator who had been on the island once before. Among the settlers were White's own daughter, Eleanor Dare, and her husband, Ananias Dare. Eleanor was pregnant during the voyage. On August 18th, 1587, she gave birth to a daughter, Virginia Dare, the first English child ever born in the Americas. For a brief moment, despite the unease left by the missing garrison, the colony had reason for hope. But the relationship between the English settlers and the indigenous peoples of the region, already damaged by violent encounters during the earlier 1585 expedition, including the killing of a local chief, remained tense and dangerous. Supplies were running low. Within weeks of his granddaughter's birth, the colonists convinced John White that someone needed to sail back to England for more supplies and reinforcements, and that he was the only one with the standing to make sure their request was taken seriously. White did not want to leave. He had just become a grandfather. He eventually agreed, believing the trip would take only a few months. He sailed for England in late August 1587, promising to return as quickly as possible. It would be 3 years before he saw Roanoke again. When White reached England, he found his country consumed by an entirely different crisis. War had broken out between England and Spain. Queen Elizabeth ordered every available ship in the country to be held back for national defense against the Spanish Armada. White's resupply voyage was delayed, then delayed again. He pleaded, argued, and tried repeatedly to secure a ship. Nothing worked. Months turned into a full year, then into 2. It was not until August 1590, almost exactly 3 years after he had left, that John White finally managed to sail back across the Atlantic toward Roanoke Island. As his ship approached the coastline, the crew spotted smoke rising from the area where the settlement should be. White took this as a hopeful sign. Smoke meant fires, and fires meant people. Bad weather and dangerous coastal currents delayed the landing by several more days. When White and his men finally reached the shore and walked toward the settlement, the smoke had stopped. So had everything else. The colony was gone. Completely gone. The houses had been carefully dismantled, not burned or destroyed in violence. The structures appeared to have been deliberately taken apart, as though the colonists had planned an organized departure rather than fled in panic. There were no bodies. There was no blood. There was no sign of the chaos you would expect from an attack, a massacre, or a forced removal. White and his men searched the abandoned settlement, increasingly desperate, looking for any clue about what had happened to his daughter, his granddaughter, and the 115 other people he had left behind. They found two things. Carved into a tree near the fort's entrance, the letters C-R-O. And carved into a wooden post of the settlement's palisade fence, a single complete word: Croatoan. Before leaving, White had given the colonists specific instructions. If they were forced to leave the settlement for any reason, they should carve their destination into a tree or post. And if that departure had happened under attack or distress, they should also carve a cross above it. There was no cross. To White, this should have meant good news. The colonists had left on purpose to a known location and had not been under attack when they carved the message. Croatoan was the name of a nearby island, home to a Native American tribe by the same name, with whom the English had maintained a relatively peaceful relationship. White believed his family and the other colonists had likely relocated there. He wanted to sail to Croatoan Island immediately to find them. But a sudden storm damaged his ship's anchor cables, and his crew, increasingly anxious about the worsening weather and the approaching hurricane season, refused to make the journey. White was forced to abandon the search and sail back to England, leaving without ever confirming whether his family was alive. He never returned to America again. He never learned what happened to his daughter, his son-in-law, or the granddaughter he had held only once. For more than 4 centuries, the disappearance of the Roanoke colonists has remained one of the most studied unsolved mysteries in American history. Several theories have emerged, supported by varying levels of evidence. Some historians believe the colonists split into smaller groups and integrated peacefully with nearby Native American communities, including the Croatoan people, exchanging their English identity for survival in a land that was no longer entirely foreign to them. Others point to evidence suggesting some colonists may have been killed years later, in 1607, by a large reading party sent by the powerful Powhatan paramount chief, possibly because English fortune tellers had predicted that a settlement in that region would one day threaten his power. A severe multi-year drought, confirmed through tree ring analysis of centuries-old cypress trees in the region, struck the area during exactly the years the colonists lived there, which may have caused famine, conflict over scarce resources, and a desperate need to disperse and seek food elsewhere. In May 2025, archaeologists announced a significant new discovery: iron flakes, the byproduct of blacksmithing, found buried on Hatteras Island, the modern location of the historical Croatoan territory. This is considered some of the strongest physical evidence yet that at least some of the colonists did relocate there and continued living, working, and forging tools rather than being killed immediately upon their departure from Roanoke. But it does not prove what happened to all 115 people. It does not explain why no full and certain trace of the colonists or their direct descendants has ever been definitively confirmed. And it does not change the central, haunting fact at the heart of this story. In 1590, John White stood in an empty colony that should have held his family, found one word carved into a post, and was never able to follow it to an answer. Today, the exact fate of the 115 men, women, and children who vanished from Roanoke Island remains officially unresolved. Virginia Dare, the first English child born in America, became a symbol of a nation's earliest chapter, a child whose life, beyond her birth, was never recorded again. Somewhere in the story of Roanoke is an answer. A village, a grave, a bloodline that continued under a different name. We have spent 435 years searching for it. We still have not found it.